You won't believe where the world's first XRP ETF was launched. It's also possible that the IMF and Federal Reserve will have something to say. Again, I'm Monica Long, and I have some fresh news about the XRP system. We'll look at a few different medico deals and relationships that are growing around the world. This is also a very important week because ETFs are going to be launched in the United States. There's a lot of exciting news, guys. Please like and share if you find it useful. Let's get right to it. Have a great weekend, friend. With the rise of digital currencies, you could say that the money system is at a turning point. Some of the things the Fed said with the OCC and FDIC about things like stablecoins have just been taken back. Some people think that introducing stablecoins in the way that Genius and Stable Acts suggest would be a big step toward free banking, which was the norm before the Federal Reserve and other central banks were created. What are your thoughts on that? Thanks. The question was about digital currency from the central bank. Then you will either ask me another question or take me off the stage. No, I'm not a central banker. They are. I'm a husband. Central bankers, we deal with large amounts of money. We really shouldn't be in the store business. Congress made the choice, and the executive body made the choice. It's up to them if they want to make a safe coin based on the US dollar or a digital currency issued by the central bank. And I wouldn't want the central bank to be too involved if it's a retail offering. People already worry that if they go to the Appropriations Committee to get money and they're turned down, they will come to the Federal Reserve, as if we were the Fiscal Policy Appeals Court. When the next disaster comes, I don't need 300 million Americans to have bank accounts at the central bank. They can't figure out how to pay for something in Congress. Then they say, why don't you guys just fill those accounts up? I think that most of the people who are talking about cryptocurrencies are getting it wrong. Software is the new thing here. The word crypto comes from the fact that it's not secret, and that sounds like money, doesn't it? This is computer code, and if the executive part of our government in Congress says they want a stable coin, that's a great choice. The Fed shouldn't have anything to do with that either. There is a plan for wholesale funding that we should be a part of and have been for a long time. What takes place when this cash moves from one bank to another? What takes place when the central bank plays in the market between banks? Well, I think there are big changes that can be made. We can move to a system that is safer, more efficient, and faster, and using some of this new technology is definitely the smartest way to do it. That's something the central bank can handle. The leaders are in charge of everything else. You can feel that the tone and touch of central bank digital cash are getting softer right now. I mean, he did say some bad things about a retail CBDC and having bank accounts at the Fed for you and me. What he said makes sense. If there was a problem, maybe something like what happened in 2020 when everyone had to stay home and they needed to put money back into the market to get things going again, that would be a great way to do it. He does think that might cause prices to rise though. There is a lot of very useful information there. I wanted to say that every day we are becoming more and more realistic about the role of cryptocurrency in our daily economy. More people will come into and use the same place over the next few years, making a bigger difference. We've loved and known each other for a long time. I'll play this monoclone clip now. It's not likely that systems like banks will be able to connect straight to the blockchain. There needs to be some connecting tissue there. That's what we offer. So what does it mean to have infrastructure? It includes things like switching from paper currency, money used in the real world, to digital asset currency. Those are ramps. On the other hand, off-ramps would be safe custody. Giving stablecoins and even services for institutions to tokenize assets is what it does. In other words, it gives them the base of services they need. Also, as you may know, the company was founded by 3 workers who made the XRP ledger that we were talking about. We've always believed in building use cases that take advantage of how efficient the XRP system is. In terms of how banking institutions would use these services, I'm talking about most likely on this sheet. Okay, as you may know, Ripple's stablecoin system is making great progress. It will be very interesting to see which banks decide to use Ripple's services. So, this is where financial institutions, companies that store digital assets, and growth-oriented financial institutions enter the crypto market. You can see that MicroStrategy, Tesla, and a bunch of other companies own Bitcoin, right? Of course. Then there were efforts by different banks to store digital assets. And this is the schedule. Obviously, these dates had to be pushed back a lot because of the tensions in the US, but they will still get worse. A lot of businesses are ready to take this chance and help make this new financial system work. And I believe these businesses will be the ones of the future. It makes me so happy to work for Apex Sench. Hey guys, they were made in 2017 and don't require any KYC. You can use them in the US. Yes, they are a DEX with superpowers. $62,700,000,000 0 cents worth of trades were made. They've made almost 90 million deals and 17.42 million people are still interested. Here is the UI. It gives you easy access to a lot of great information that will help you become the star seller you were meant to be. Start your journey through decentralized trade. They have low fees and make it easy to trade across multiple chains. Whether you're trading one of these expensive cryptocurrencies or something new like meme coins or other AI agents. You can also trade with a full range of goods from them. The best way to make the most money is to pay and so makers 0.002, takers 0.005. Another amazing thing about you is your 24-hour amount. Take a look at this $355 million, 0 cents. I have worked with Apex Exchange for a few weeks now. You can get up to $30,000 0 cents today in cash deposits, welcome bonuses, and wages. The extra stuff you can get from Apex is always really cool. Sign up, make a deposit, and start earning. You can also invite friends, just like I'm doing here. You can buy both spot and futures XRP. The deck is one of the cleanest. They make me really happy to work with them. Put the link further down in the text. Take a look at Apex today to help me out. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Hello. Also, the XRP Pro Shares ETF guys have an event on April 30th, which is this Wednesday. They're beginning to move through. I believe that's why the price is beginning to rise a little. It wouldn't be surprising if these ETFs made a lot of money in the first year. In the first year, JP Morgan thinks it will bring in between $3 billion 0 cents and $8 billion 0 cents. We need to check it out. If it could go even higher, that would be great. Coin ETFs made a total of $115 billion 0 cents at their peak. Okay, so the world's first XRP ETF is from Brazil. This is something that can make someone happy. It is expected that the XRP 1.1 will put at least 95% of its stock into XRP, either directly or indirectly. This is what everyone is talking about, so here it is. This is what Hashtags is talking about. Jack the Ripper is writing about, more ETFs and how a lot of people are buying them. And so the room just looks really lively right now. Following that, you begin to remember what Naveen Gupta said about small amounts, right? This is going to be a very important part for Americans to get by. A few days ago, I made a film about the bank. I believe I put that out on Friday, which was yesterday. And that movie talks about how between 49% and 59% of Americans would not be able to pay a $1,000 0 cents bill if it came up. They can pay it off with credit cards or something, but if they need cash, they can't. This is a problem with the way we live. People get paid twice or once a month because salary costs are so high. If you could use digital assets like XRP to make payments, you would save a huge amount of money and be able to pay people every hour or every 10 minutes. We could make a big difference in how much money people have in the future to stay alive, right? That's the most important thing. If people could get paid more often, I think they wouldn't have to take money from sketchy loan places and pay 20 or 30% interest that they never get out of. It seems like being in debt can